The stars shone like distant fires, cold and silent. In the middle of the Carthus star system, a small civilian transport ship named Aurora drifted quietly. Inside, the crew worked with tired hands, checking their damaged systems. The ship had been hauling supplies between colonies for months, and nobody expected danger this far from human space. Commander Lyra Vance, the leader of the crew, stared at the view screen. Her face was pale, illuminated by the soft blue light of the control panels. "Sensors are picking up multiple contacts," she said, her voice steady but tense. The crew looked at her, hope and fear mixing in their eyes. The contacts weren't friendly. Alien warships, sleek, black, and aggressive, had surrounded Aurora. Their numbers were overwhelming. At least 15 vessels closed in, firing deadly energy beams that cut through space with precision. "Shields at 30%, Lyra reported. "We won't last long if they hit again." The crew exchanged worried glances. The ship's engineer, Joran, wiped sweat from his brow. "We can't outrun them. Their engines are faster than ours. They'll catch us in minutes." Lyra gritted her teeth. "We have to try. Plot an escape route through the asteroid field ahead. It's risky, but it's our only chance." The ship shuddered as an alien laser scorched the hull. Sparks flew from the walls. Crew members braced themselves as alarms blared. The sound of the warning klaxons filled the cabin. "Prepare for evasive maneuvers," Lyra ordered. "Engage thrusters." The Aurora twisted and turned, dodging lasers by inches. Outside, the asteroid field loomed like a jagged wall. It was dark, chaotic, and full of danger, but it was better than being sitting targets. As the ship weaved through massive rocks, Joran shouted, "A rock! Left side! Brace!" The ship scraped against a jagged asteroid, sending a cloud of space dust across the hull. Alarms screamed. Systems flickered. The crew held on tightly, hearts pounding. Every second felt like an hour. Then, just when they thought they were out of immediate danger, the alien fleet split into two groups, flanking the ship from both sides. Lyra's stomach sank. There was no escape. "This is it," muttered Cale, the young navigator, his hands shaking. "We're done for." Lyra took a deep breath. Her mind raced. How can anyone survive this? How could they possibly fight such advanced enemies? Her eyes flicked to the sensors. That's when she saw it. A faint blip, moving too fast to be real. "What is that?" she whispered. Joran leaned over her shoulder. "I don't know, it just appeared." The blip moved closer, faster than any ship they had ever seen. Its shape slowly became clear. A massive warship, sleek, silver, glowing faintly against the darkness of space. It was human, unmistakably human. The crew froze, staring at the view screen. No one believed humans had warships this advanced in this sector. They thought there were no military ships near Carthus. They thought no one would save them. But now one was here, and it was moving straight toward the alien fleet. Lyra's heart raced. Could it be real? The warship fired its weapons. In seconds, alien ships were hit with energy beams that cut through their hulls like knives. Explosions erupted, lighting up the darkness of space. The aliens scrambled, trying to retaliate, but the human ship was faster, smarter, and stronger than anything they had encountered. The crew of Aurora could hardly believe their eyes. Cale whispered, "It's saving us." But the relief was short-lived. The alien fleet regrouped, forming a deadly circle around both the Aurora and the human warship. The enemy was stronger, smarter, and more determined than ever. The human warship suddenly vanished from the sensors. 1 second it was there, firing, defending them. The next, nothing. The crew gasped in shock. "Where did it go?" Lyra yelled, gripping the console. "It was right there." Joran frowned, checking the systems. I don't know. It just disappeared." The alien ships closed in again, energy beams ready to strike. The crew of Aurora felt the walls of their ship shake with fear. Every alarm screamed danger. They were alone again, facing impossible odds. Lyra's mind raced. Who were these humans? How could they move like that, appear and disappear at will? And most importantly, would they return before it was too late? As the aliens fired their next salvo, a new blip appeared on the sensors. It was faint, distant, but unmistakably human. Lyra's eyes widened. They're coming back. The crew held their breath. Every second stretched endlessly. Outside, the stars seemed to burn brighter, reflecting the tension inside the ship. They had no idea what was about to happen, only that salvation might finally be near. And then, just as the alien prepared for a crushing strike, the human warship reappeared, glowing like a ghost in the void. Its weapons locked onto the alien fleet with deadly precision. The crew of Aurora stared, hearts racing. They thought no one would save them. But now hope was here, and the battle for their survival had only just begun. The human warship hung in space like a shining phantom, its silver hull glinting against the dark void. The Aurora crew could hardly believe their eyes. They had never seen technology like this. Smooth, fast, and almost alive in its movements. Lyra Vance gripped the console, leaning forward. Sensors are picking up energy signatures. Too advanced. Faster than anything we know. Kale, still shaking from the first attack, whispered, Are they really humans? Before anyone could answer, the warship fired again. Alien ships exploded one by one, torn apart by beams of light that moved with deadly accuracy. The aliens attempted to fight back, but the human vessel seemed to anticipate every move, dodging attacks with impossible speed. Joran stared at the displays. They're predicting the aliens' moves. How is that possible? Lyra shook her head. It doesn't matter how, they're saving us. That's all that counts. The crew felt a strange mix of relief and fear. Relief because they were no longer alone. Fear because the humans were different. Too fast, too precise, too powerful. It was almost as if they had appeared from nowhere. Kale pointed to the sensors. Commander, look, the warship. It's moving closer, but I don't see any engines firing. Lyra's eyes widened. It's cloaked. Or something else. We can't tell. The Aurora shuddered as another alien volley of lasers struck nearby. Sparks flew across the hull, but the human warship intercepted every shot, destroying the attackers before they could hit. Then, suddenly, it vanished again. 1 second it was there, defending them. The next, only empty space. The crew froze, fear returning like a shadow. It's gone, Kale shouted. They're gone. Joran rubbed his eyes. How can a ship just disappear like that? Lyra took a deep breath. We don't know. We just have to survive until it comes back. As the alien fleet regrouped, their leader, a massive, dark warship, moved toward the Aurora with terrifying speed. It was bigger, deadlier, and clearly more intelligent than the rest. The civilian crew felt trapped. Every option seemed impossible. But then, a strange signal appeared on the Aurora's comm system. It was weak, distorted, but unmistakable. Trust no one but us. Lyra stared at the screen, her hand frozen above the controls. Who sent that? Kale shook his head. It must be them. The humans. But why the warning? Joran frowned. Doesn't matter. Right now, we need them. Fast. Outside, the alien flagship loomed closer. The human warship reappeared, emerging from the shadows like a predator. Its weapons glowed with energy, ready to strike. The aliens hesitated, clearly wary of this new threat. Lyra's heart raced. They're going to fight it, and we're in the middle of it. The battle began again. The human ship moved with incredible speed, striking the alien vessels with perfect precision. Each blast destroyed 1 or 2 enemies, sending debris spinning through space. The Aurora shook with every nearby explosion, the crew clinging to whatever they could. Kale whispered in awe. It's amazing. They're unstoppable. But even as the human warship fought, the aliens adapted. Their attacks became coordinated, relentless, and smarter. The crew realized the humans weren't just strong. They were tactical geniuses, but even they might have limits. Suddenly, an alien ship launched a missile that dodged a human warship's defenses and headed straight for the Aurora. Lyra screamed, evasive, braced for impact. The ship shook violently. Alarms blared. Every crew member held on, heart racing, as the missile drew closer. Then, in a flash of light, the missile was gone. The human warship appeared seconds later and destroyed it mid-flight. Jorn fell back in his chair, gasping. They saved us again. Lyra's voice was firm, filled with awe and determination. We need to follow them. We need to know who they are and why they're here. Kale looked at the sensors. Commander, there's another fleet emerging, much larger. I think the aliens weren't expecting the humans to intervene. Lyra clenched her fists. Then we need to hold on. Whatever happens, we survive, and we see this through. Those humans are our only hope. The Aurora crew watched as a human warship prepared for another strike. Its movements were graceful, almost like a dance. Each attack was precise, calculated, unstoppable. But as the humans moved closer to the alien fleet, a new question burned in Lyra's mind. Who were these humans? How could they appear from nowhere, strike with impossible speed, and vanish without a trace? And most importantly, why were they helping them? As the Aurora drifted behind the warship, watching the humans battle, the crew realized one terrifying truth. They were not just saved. They were caught in a war far bigger than they could imagine. The human ship fired another volley, and the alien ship scattered in panic. The Aurora shook from the explosions, lights flickering inside. The crew's hearts pounded in their chests. Kale whispered, almost to himself, This is only the beginning." Lyra nodded silently. She knew he was right. The humans had appeared once, saved them, and vanished. But the real battle was about to start. And the mystery of the humans, their power, their intentions, and their origins, was only just beginning to unfold. The Aurora floated in the shadow of the human warship, its hull trembling from the recent explosions. Outside, the stars sparkled cold and distant, but the sense of danger was closer than ever. The alien fleet had scattered for now, but the crew knew it would not be long before they returned. Stronger, smarter, and more determined. Commander Lyra Vance stared at the view screen, her jaw tight. "We can't stay here," she said firmly. "They'll track us. We need to follow the humans, find out who they are and why they're here." Kale, the navigator, nodded, though his hands trembled slightly. "But, Commander, the asteroid's up ahead. It's risky. We barely survived before." Lyra's eyes hardened. "Risk is better than dying alone out here. We follow them." Joran, the engineer, shook his head. "I still don't understand. How do they move like that? One moment they're gone, the next they strike. It's like they're everywhere at once." Lyra didn't answer. There was no time. Sensors picked up faint signals ahead. The alien fleet had regrouped, moving fast, their dark shapes sliding silently through the void. It was only a matter of time before they struck again. The Aurora pushed its damaged engines to the limit, weaving through smaller asteroids. The human warship glowed faintly ahead, almost like a guide, leading them away from the deadliest attacks. Kale watched the sensors nervously. They're fast, but so are the aliens. They're catching up. Lyra swallowed hard. "Then hold on. Don't lose focus. We survive and we learn from them. That's all that matters." Suddenly, a large alien ship broke off from the main fleet and charged toward them. Its hull was bigger than anything the Aurora had seen before, black and jagged, bristling with weapons. Joran shouted, "It's a hunter! They're gonna take us out." Before Lyra could respond, the human warship vanished again, reappearing seconds later between the Aurora and the hunter's ship. It fired with perfect precision, taking out the enemy's engines in one strike. The Aurora crew stared in awe. How do they do that?" Kale whispered. Lyra shook her head. "It doesn't matter how. We survived because of them. That's all we need to know for now." The hunter ship's wreckage floated silently as a human warship glided ahead. The crew of the Aurora followed, hearts pounding. Every moment was tense, every move critical. One mistake could mean death. As they moved, Lyra noticed something unusual on the sensors. "Commander, I see a signal. It's encrypted, but it's coming from the human ship." Kale leaned closer. "A message? For us?" Lyra frowned. "I don't know. Open it." The screen flickered, displaying a simple line of text. "Trust no one but us. Danger is closer than you think." The word sent chills down their spines. Who were these humans? Why warn them? And what danger was coming that even these advanced warships feared? Before they could ponder further, alarms blared. Another wave of alien ships had appeared, faster and more organized than before. They moved like a single organism, surrounding the human warship and the Aurora on all sides. Lyra gritted her teeth. Prepare for evasive maneuvers. We're not just running, we're fighting too. Jordan worked the engines frantically, sweat pouring down his face. Thrusters at maximum, braced for impact. The Aurora twisted and dodged through the debris of destroyed ships, narrowly avoiding laser strikes. Sparks flew inside the cabin, and the alarm screamed nonstop. Every crew member's heart pounded like a drum in the silence between attacks. The human warship moved ahead, a silver ghost dancing between explosions. Its weapons fired with deadly accuracy, striking aliens before they could even react. But the enemy was relentless, their attacks coordinated and intelligent. Kale pointed to the sensors. Commander, the humans, they're not just fighting. They're guiding us, keeping us alive. Lyra nodded. Then we follow. Every step, every move. Stay close. They know the way. Suddenly, a massive asteroid loomed ahead. The Aurora's engine screamed as it tried to dodge, but the alien fleet closed in, firing relentlessly. The crew braced for collision. Then, out of nowhere, the human warship appeared in front of them. It fired a bright beam at the largest asteroid, breaking it into pieces. Debris scattered, and the Aurora slipped through safely. The crew gasped. They saved us again, Kale whispered. Lyra's mind raced. We owe them our lives. But there's more to this. They're not just helping us. They're preparing for something bigger. Something we can't see yet. The alien fleet regrouped, stronger and more organized. Their attacks became smarter, faster, and more deadly. The Aurora was small, damaged, and vulnerable, but with the human warship guiding them, they still had a chance. Kale looked at Lyra nervously. Commander, what if they're not coming back? Lyra's eyes narrowed. Then we survive on our own, but they will come back. They always do. As the stars stretched around them, the Aurora and the human warship moved like two pieces of a puzzle, weaving through danger with impossible precision. The aliens were relentless, but the humans were smarter, faster, and unstoppable, at least for now. And yet, even as the crew felt a spark of hope, a terrible question lingered in their minds. What secret did the humans carry that made them so powerful, and why were they helping ordinary civilians in such a deadly war? The chase had begun, and it would not end until the truth was revealed, or until the aliens destroyed them all. The stars stretched endlessly around the Aurora as it followed the human warship deeper into enemy space. Every glance at the sensors made the crew's hearts pound. The alien fleet was not defeated. They were regrouping, faster and more intelligent than ever. Commander Lyra Vance kept her eyes on the warship ahead. Its movements were smooth, precise, almost alive. Keep close, she instructed. Every decision we make now could mean life or death. Kale, the navigator, squinted at the view screen. Commander, they're leading us into a cluster of asteroids. It looks like a trap. Lyra shook her head, though a knot of fear formed in her stomach. It may look like a trap, or it may be a plan. Trust them. That's all we can do. The Aurora followed cautiously, weaving between massive asteroids while the alien fleet closed in from all sides. Then, without warning, the human warship disappeared from sensors again. The crew gasped. Not again. Kale shouted. Joran, the engineer, wiped sweat from his brow. Where do they go? They can't just vanish like that. Lyra clenched her fists. They can, and they do. That's why we're alive. Suddenly, a faint glow appeared ahead, and the warship emerged from hiding. But this time it was different. Its hull shimmered with a golden light, and a strange hum filled the Aurora's cabin. The crew watched in awe as the ship activated what could only be described as an advanced energy field. Kale whispered, Is that a shield? But it's huge. Lyra nodded slowly. And it's protecting not just them, but us too. The alien fleet approached cautiously, sensing something different. Their weapons fired, but every blast bounced harmlessly off the human warship's glowing field. The crew of the Aurora stared at the display, mouths open in disbelief. It's invincible, Kale murmured. Lyra's eyes narrowed. This is more than a warship. It's a secret weapon. Something the aliens weren't expecting. The human ship fired again, not just with weapons, but with something more, an energy pulse that disrupted the aliens' engines. One by one, enemy ships were disabled, floating helpless in the void. Joran's jaw dropped. They can stop entire ships without destroying them? Lyra nodded. Yes, they're not just fighters, they're tacticians. They think ahead, anticipate moves, and use technology in ways we can't imagine. But even as the crew marveled, the human warship sent out another signal, this one directly to the Aurora. The message flashed on their screen. Prepare. The main force is coming. You'll need to trust us completely. Lyra's heart raced. Main force? That means the aliens have something bigger than what we faced. Kale swallowed hard. Are we ready for that? Lyra shook her head. We'll have to be. We don't have a choice. Suddenly, sensors picked up movement from the shadows. A massive alien flagship appeared, larger than any they had seen, bristling with weapons and glowing with deadly energy. Its presence sent shivers through the crew. Kale's voice trembled. It's huge. How can the humans fight that? Lyra's eyes narrowed. That's why we follow them. They know what they're doing. We survive because of them. And we learn. The human warship moved closer to the flagship, its golden shield glowing brightly. With a sudden pulse of energy, it disabled the alien ship's weapon systems. The crew of the Aurora could hardly believe their eyes. One ship, no matter how advanced, was holding off an entire flagship. Kale whispered, It's impossible. Joran nodded, sweat dripping down his face. They're showing us what humans can do. We've never seen anything like this. Lyra's mind raced. The human warship was not just powerful, it was teaching them something. Survival, strategy, ingenuity. Humanity was not just fighting, it was proving its strength in the galaxy. But just as the humans prepared for the next strike, alarms blared. The alien flagship had activated a hidden device, something massive and dangerous. Energy readings spiked across the Aurora's sensors. Kale shouted, Commander, that device, it's heading toward us. Lyra's heart sank. Hold steady. Follow the warship. The Aurora shuddered violently as the energy pulse drew closer, threatening to tear the ship apart. Sparks flew, alarms screamed, and every crew member clung to the walls. Then, in a sudden flash, the human warship appeared between the Aurora and the energy pulse. A golden beam of light struck the device, disintegrating it before it could reach them. The crew gasped. They saved us again. Kale whispered. Lyra's hands shook, but she forced herself to stay calm. They're not just saving us. They're showing us what humans can do, and we need to understand it fast. Joran rubbed his forehead. I don't even know what to say. They're beyond anything we've seen. How is this possible? Lyra's eyes were fixed on the warship ahead. It's human ingenuity. They built something beyond imagination, and now we're part of it. The alien flagship recoiled, its systems disrupted, but it wasn't defeated. It loomed like a shadow, a warning that the battle was far from over. The human warship glowed brightly, ready to strike again, but the crew of the Aurora knew one thing for sure. Survival depended on their trust in this incredible human ship. As the stars stretched endlessly around them, the crew realized something extraordinary. They were no longer just civilians in danger. They were witnesses to the power and strategy of humanity itself, a force capable of facing impossible odds and surviving. The darkness of space was pierced by streaks of light as the human warship prepared for battle. The massive alien flagship loomed ahead, bristling with weapons and energy shields that shimmered ominously. The crew of the Aurora held their breath, gripping the consoles tightly. Every sense was on edge. Commander Lyra Vance's eyes were fixed on the view screen. This is it, she said quietly. The fight of their lives, and ours. Stay close and trust them. Kale's hands shook as he monitored the sensors. They're about to strike. The aliens won't hold back. The human warship surged forward with precision, faster than anything the crew had seen. It fired energy beams that tore through the alien fleet, disabling ships without destroying them completely. One by one, alien vessels were immobilized, spinning helplessly in the void. Joran leaned back in awe. It's incredible. They're controlling the entire battle. They're like masters of space. Lyra nodded. This is humanity at its finest. Strategy, precision, intelligence. Not just weapons. They think ahead. The alien flagship responded with a massive barrage of lasers. The Aurora shook violently. Sparks flew inside, alarms blared, and the crew braced for impact. Kale gasped. Commander! One of the blasts, it's heading straight for us. Lyra shouted. Hold steady. Follow their lead. In a flash, the human warship repositioned with unimaginable speed, placing itself between the Aurora and the blast. The energy beam struck the human ship's shield, sending a golden ripple across its hull, and then dissipated harmlessly. The crew exhaled in relief. They save us again, Kale whispered on his voice. Lyra's mind raced. They're not just saving us, they're showing us how humans survive against impossible odds. Every move counts. The battle intensified. Alien ships regrouped and coordinated, launching swarms of fighter drones. The human warship responded with swift precision, taking out drones before they could reach the Aurora. Joran watched the displays. It's like they know exactly what the aliens will do before they do it. Lyra gritted her teeth. That's what makes humans extraordinary. We adapt, we anticipate, we overcome. But then the alien flagship unleashed its hidden weapon, a massive energy cannon capable of wiping out entire fleets. The beam charged slowly, glowing like a second sun. The Aurora shuddered. Every crew member held their breath, knowing that one strike could end everything. Kale swallowed hard. Commander, it's going to hit us all. Lyra's voice was firm. Steady. Stay calm. Watch and learn. Humanity fights with more than just power. They fight with intelligence. The human warship launched a daring attack. It split its energy into multiple pulses, striking the alien flagship's weapon system simultaneously. Sparks erupted, shields flickered, and the cannon overload warning flashed across the alien sensors. The beam fired prematurely, exploding the void far from the Aurora, destroying several smaller alien ships in the process. The crew gasped in astonishment. Joran shook his head. They're unstoppable. Lyra nodded. They're not just unstoppable, they're teaching us. Humanity survives because we think, plan, and fight together. We don't just rely on power, we rely on ingenuity. The alien flagship, now heavily damaged, tried to retreat, but the human warship anticipated the move, cutting it off and firing one final energy pulse. The alien ship shuddered, systems failing, before drifting powerless through space. The Aurora crew cheered silently. They had survived. The humans had won. But the battle had left scars. The ship was damaged, alarms still blared, and the stars around them were littered with wreckage. Kale whispered, We survived. Because of them. Lyra's eyes scanned the void. Yes, because of them. But this war isn't over. There's more out there, bigger threats. And humanity will face them with the same courage and intelligence. Joran wiped sweat from his forehead. I've never seen anything like it. Humans, we really are something else. Lyra's voice was calm but full of awe. Not just something else. Extraordinary. This is what we can achieve. If we work together, think ahead, and never give up, we're stronger than we know. As the stars glimmered around them, the Aurora drifted safely behind the human warship. The alien fleet had been pushed back, but the crew knew it would return. Kale looked at Lyra nervously. Commander, will they come back? The humans? Lyra smiled faintly. Yes, they always do. And next time, we might even fight alongside them. But we'll be ready. Humanity doesn't give up. We survive. We adapt. We win. The crew looked out at the warship ahead, glowing with power, confidence, and precision. It was more than a ship. It was a symbol of everything humans could achieve. And yet, a shadow lingered. From the depths of space, sensors detected something new, a presence far more dangerous than anything they had faced. The humans had saved them, but a greater threat was coming. Something that would test not just the warship's strength, but the ingenuity and courage of all humanity. The stars stretched endlessly around the Aurora as it followed the human warship toward the unknown. Silence filled the cabin, broken only by the hum of the engines and the occasional warning beep. The crew knew one thing for sure. This was far from over. Commander Lyra Vance gripped the console. Prepare yourselves. The threat ahead is bigger than the alien flagship we just faced. Stay focused. Kale, his hands still trembling, glanced nervously at the sensors. Commander, it's massive. I've never seen anything like it. How can the humans face this? Lyra's eyes were firm. They can and they will. We just have to stay alive and learn. Suddenly, the void ahead lit up. A colossal alien dreadnought appeared, far larger than any ship the Aurora had seen. Its hull glimmered with a dark, pulsating energy, and weapons bristled on every side. Even the human warship slowed, its golden shield glowing brightly in preparation. Joran's jaw dropped. It's enormous. There's no way. Lyra held her ground. There's always a way. Humanity never gives up. The dreadnought fired first, releasing a wave of energy that could have destroyed an entire fleet. The human warship moved with lightning speed, intercepting the attack with its shield. The energy crashed harmlessly against it, and a pulse of counter-energy rippled outward, disrupting the alien dreadnought systems. Kale whispered, awe in his voice. They're unstoppable. Lyra nodded silently. No, not just unstoppable. They're smart. Every move is planned. Every strike calculated. The battle began in earnest. Energy beams cut through the darkness. Alien ships exploded in flashes of fire, and the human warship moved like a master chess player, always anticipating, always one step ahead. The Aurora trembled as smaller alien fighters swarmed, trying to hit them. Sparks flew, alarms screamed, and the crew held on tight. But the human warship was always there, shielding them, destroying threats before they could reach the civilian ship. Joran shook his head. I can't believe this humans were extraordinary. Lyra's eyes never left the warship. This is what we are capable of. Not just strength, but ingenuity, courage, and teamwork. We survive because we think, we adapt, and we act together. Suddenly, the alien dreadnought unleashed a massive energy cannon, aimed directly at the Aurora. Every crew member froze, knowing that one strike could obliterate them. Kale shouted, Commander, it's too late. Lyra's voice was calm, firm, and steady. Trust them. They've never failed yet. In a blinding flash, the human warship moved between the dreadnought and the Aurora. A golden shield rippled outward, absorbing the massive blast. Sparks and energy arcs danced across the hull, but the ship held. Then, in perfect synchronization, the warship fired an energy pulse directly at the dreadnought's core. The alien ship shuddered violently. Systems overloaded, weapons failed, and it began to drift powerless through the void. The crew of the Aurora cheered silently. They did it, they stopped it. Kale whispered, still in awe. Lyra exhaled slowly. Yes, and yet there's more we don't know. They've saved us, but the universe is bigger than this battle. There are secrets we have yet to see. As the alien dreadnought floated disabled, the human warship approached the Aurora. Its hull glimmered softly, almost like it was alive. Then, in a dazzling flash, it vanished, leaving the Aurora safe, but alone once again. Kale looked at Lyra, confusion and wonder in his eyes. They're gone again. Why do they help us and disappear? Lyra shook her head, a small smile forming. Because that's what humans do. They fight for survival, for others, and for something greater than themselves. Their power is not just in weapons. It's in their mind, their courage, and their determination. Joran wiped his face, exhausted and amazed. I don't think I'll ever forget this. Humans were incredible. Lyra turned to crew, her voice soft but strong. Remember this. What we've seen today is not just war. It's humanity at its best. We fight, we survive, and we rise above impossible odds. That is what makes us human. As the Aurora drifted quietly, a faint blip appeared on the sensors in the distance. Another human warship, observing silently, waiting, ready for the next battle. Kale whispered, awe in his voice, they're still out there, watching. Lyra nodded. Yes. And when the next threat comes, they'll act again. Humanity doesn't give up. We survive. We protect. We rise. The stars stretched endlessly, silent and mysterious, as the Aurora continued its journey. The crew knew that the humans they had witnessed were more than warriors. They were a symbol of what humanity could become: fearless, inventive, and unstoppable. And even though the human warships had disappeared into the darkness, their presence lingered, proof that hope, courage, and ingenuity could exist even in the coldest corners of the galaxy. The universe was vast, full of dangers and mysteries, but the crew of the Aurora knew one truth. Humanity, at its best, was a force that could never be defeated. The Aurora sailed quietly through the Cartha star system, its hull battered but intact. The crew stared at the stars, still in awe of the human warship's incredible power. Even though the immediate threat was gone, the sense of unease lingered. Something told them the war was far from over. Commander Lyra Vance leaned over the console, eyes scanning every sensor. The humans saved us again, but they didn't tell us everything. There's more out there waiting. Kale, still wide-eyed from the recent battle, whispered, "Do you think there's something even bigger than the alien dreadnought?" Lyra's voice was calm but serious. "Yes, we've only scratched the surface. The universe is bigger than any of us imagined. Humans may be powerful, but there are forces even they have yet to face." Joran, exhausted and still recovering from the last battle, rubbed his forehead. "I don't even want to imagine what that could be. We barely survived the last fight." A sudden ping on the sensors made everyone freeze. A massive energy signature appeared in the distance, one unlike anything the crew had ever seen. It pulsed with a dark, almost alive energy, sending tremors through space. Kale swallowed hard. "Commander, that's enormous. It's not like anything we faced." Lyra's eyes narrowed. "That's the new threat. And if the humans are planning to fight it, we need to be ready too." The Aurora moved closer, keeping a safe distance. The energy signature grew larger, revealing the shape of a colossal, alien construct. It was not a ship. This was a weapon, or maybe even an artificial planet-sized intelligence, bristling with unknown technology. Its presence radiated power, and the crew could feel in their bones. Joran whispered, trembling, "It's alive, I think, or it's thinking." Lyra nodded. "Yes, and it's coming. Soon." The view screen flickered, and suddenly, a faint blip appeared near the construct. Another human warship, distant but unmistakably powerful, observed silently. Its golden shield glowed faintly as it prepared for the inevitable. Kale whispered, awe in his voice, "They're ready, waiting." Lyra's eyes were sharp. "Yes, humanity doesn't just fight. They plan, they wait, and they strike when it matters most. And this is going to test everything they've shown us so far." As the Aurora drifted behind the human ship, the crew realized something astonishing. They were not just witnesses. They were part of a universe where humans were becoming legends. Every battle, every daring rescue, every strategy was proof that humans could rise above impossible odds. But this new threat was different. It was vast, intelligent, and dangerous in a way they had never imagined. Even the humans would need every ounce of their ingenuity to survive. Kale looked at Lyra, worry in his eyes. "Commander, do you think we'll survive this one?" Lyra smiled faintly, determination shining in her eyes. "We will survive because we follow the humans, because we learn, because humanity never gives up. This is not just war. It's the future of our species, and we will face it together." The energy signature pulsed again, brighter and more menacing than ever. The Aurora and the human warship prepared, floating silently in anticipation. The stars stretched endlessly, cold and unfeeling. But somewhere out there, humanity was ready to fight to survive and protect everything they held dear. A quiet alarm sounded on the Aurora. Sensors detected movement. Smaller fleets emerging from the shadows, aligned with the colossal threat. The next battle would not just be a fight for survival. It would be a war that could reshape the galaxy. Joran muttered, awe and fear in his voice. It's bigger than anything we've ever imagined." Lyra's voice was calm but firm. "Then we rise. We adapt. We fight. Humanity survives because we never stop, never surrender, and never lose hope. Remember that. Crew, this is only the beginning. The final shot of the view screen revealed the colossal alien construct, the human warship glowing in the distance, and the Aurora caught in the shadow of greatness. The stars were silent witnesses to the next chapter in a war that would test humanity itself. The Aurora drifted quietly through the glittering starfield, its hull scarred from previous battles. The crew had survived impossible odds, guided and protected by the mysterious human warships. Yet, even in this calm, a tension filled the air, a sense that something greater was awakening beyond their sight. Commander Lyra Vance stood at the console, eyes scanning the distant horizon. "The humans saved us again," she murmured, voice steady. "But I can feel it. Something is coming. Something bigger than anything we've seen." Kale, still adjusting to the horrors and miracles they had witnessed, peered at the sensors. "Commander, the readings are strange. Energy signatures unlike anything we've detected before. It's alive, almost." Lyra's gaze hardened. "Then we prepare. Whatever it is, it will challenge everything we know about space, humans, and survival." Suddenly, a faint disturbance rippled across the void. A massive silhouette appeared, larger than any starship, pulsating with dark energy. Unlike the alien dreadnought they had fought before, this presence seemed conscious, intelligent, and utterly alien. Its size dwarfed the human warships they had witnessed, and its presence radiated an oppressive power. Joran whispered, trembling, "It's alive, or it thinks it's alive. I don't know how to describe it." Lyra's expression was calm but firm. "This is the unknown, and humans thrive against the unknown." Sensors suddenly detected movement. Fleets of smaller vessels emerged from the shadows, all converging on the colossal presence. The human warship appeared in the distance, glowing faintly like a beacon of hope, its shields pulsing in anticipation. Kale swallowed hard. "There, Eddie. But this is bigger than anything we've seen." Lyra nodded. "Yes, and that's why we follow them. Humanity doesn't just survive. They plan, they adapt, and they fight in ways nothing else can." The Aurora stayed close, shielded behind the human ship, watching as the alien construct and its fleets moved. Energy arcs danced across space as small skirmishes broke out. The humans struck with precise timing, disabling enemy ships, disrupting energy flows, and guiding the Aurora safely through the chaos. Joran leaned back, awe in his voice. "I can't believe it. Humans are incredible. Even against something this massive, they're unstoppable." Lyra's eyes never left the warship. "They're not just unstoppable. They're intelligent, resourceful, and fearless. That is what makes us human. That is what would define the future of the galaxy." Suddenly, the massive alien presence pulsed violently. Energy ripples spread across the void, disrupting sensor readings and causing minor tremors in the Aurora. The crew gripped consoles, hearts pounding. Kale whispered, "Commander, it's aware of us. It knows we're here." Lyra's voice was steady. "Then we watch, we learn, and we survive. That is humanity's way." From the distance, another human warship appeared, joining the first. Their shields glowed brighter than ever, forming a protective barrier around the Aurora as the alien construct advanced. The two warships moved in perfect synchronization, coordinating attacks and defenses with uncanny precision. Joran shook his head, disbelief in his eyes. "They're amazing. They're not just ships, they're strategy. They're alive with human ingenuity." Lyra nodded. "And this is only the beginning. This is what it means to be human. Courage, intelligence, and the will to survive, no matter the odds." The massive alien presence pulsed again, sending out waves of energy that could destroy entire fleets. The human warships countered with focused beams, shields, and energy pulses. Small alien ships swarmed around them, trying to break the line, but the humans were always one step ahead. Kale's voice trembled. "They're teaching us, even in the fight. Look at the precision. Every move counts. Every attack is perfect." Lyra's eyes softened slightly. "Yes, humanity survives because we think, we adapt, and we act together. That is the greatest weapon we have." As the battle intensified, the alien construct emitted a signal, a pulse that reverberated across the Aurora sensors. It was a warning, a challenge, and a message Something greater was coming. Something that would test the humans to their absolute limits. Kale swallowed hard. "Commander, is this the end?" Lyra's voice was calm but resolute. "No, this is the beginning of a new chapter. The humans will fight, we will survive, and the galaxy will see what it means to face impossible odds and live." The stars stretched endlessly around them, silent witnesses to the unfolding battle. The Aurora drifted safely behind the human warships, witnessing a new legend. Humans rising against the shadows of the unknown, fearless, ingenious, and unstoppable. And in the distance, a single thought filled their minds. The universe is vast, dangerous, and full of mysteries, but humanity will always rise to meet them,